Smile 2. Man, I did not know what to expect from this movie because I don't know, I like Smile, but it's not a horror movie that really stuck with me. I've seen it a couple times. After watching this film, it did make me want to rewatch that first movie just because I'm not really sure which one of these Smile movies I prefer. I definitely would say that this movie's better on a filmmaking level, but I also just think that this movie had some issues that wore it down. Let's start with the positive. Naomi Scott is incredible in this movie. She adds so much to this movie. I think there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is not very well written and not very well explored. Like, there's a lot of things that are touched upon. I'll talk about that in a minute. But her performance is so strong that you almost don't think about that. You almost don't really care about any of that. Also, I feel like because the director of the first film really proved himself with that first Smile movie, he was definitely given a lot more reins to do whatever he wanted, and he made for some really gory, fucking insane sequences, and really upped the horror, really upped everything, and really made a completely unique horror movie, unlike anything I've seen this year. I think the biggest things holding this back for me, number one, this movie's too long. Why the fuck is this 2 hours? It's over 2 hours. It's 2 hours 7 minutes, and by an hour 40, I was like checking like the time on my phone, being like, is this gonna wrap up? I mean, it felt like some of these sequences were a little too repetitive. I can't remember how long the first Smile is, but I'm pretty dead sure the first Smile was a little bit shorter. And then I do think that this movie like touches upon very lightly some pretty important ideas, and that I think are very interesting to explore, like the idea of fame and how it can harm you and your relationships with other people. That's great, but it's not really explored that well. It's also, to me, kind of implied that the pop star in this movie is a child star, and her mother has been making her be this star, even though she may not want to be. But yet that's not really explored. It's really just hinted at, and a lot of that stuff kind of bugged me with this movie. Where I think this movie could have been a really great horror movie that had a lot to say about fame, you know, certain topics like that come with that. But instead, I think the movie just kind of opted out of a lot of that discussion and talk, and it made the movie feel a little bit weak to me. Of like, oh, this director, while he's clearly got talent, I'm sitting here going, I don't really like the way you're handling this. So I don't know what Smile 3 is going to be, but I did enjoy this movie. I think overall it's probably better than the first. I don't really want to say for sure. Though I will say, Naomi Scott is really good in this movie, but what the fuck were some of these reviews? And I think it was mainly 3 Seek Films, so I love that guy's opinion a lot of the time. Well, not love his opinion, but I at least can understand his opinion, and I really like his channel and stuff, and he's probably one of my favorite movie YouTubers out there. But like, no, it's not an Oscar-worthy performance. Like, goddamn. Let's calm down a little bit with that horse shit. It was a good movie, but it's not that good. It's a good movie. Go check it out. I don't know if I'm fully on board with everything it did, but in the end, I think if this had just been a better paced movie, a better written movie, I would have enjoyed this movie, but it went on way too long.